Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're digging into an electric mountain bike that's making some pretty bold claims. The Bonnell 775MX. It's supposed to blend like motocross level performance with trail handling. We looked at a review from Rapid Guides on YouTube. The big question for you is, does it actually deliver on that thrill factor? Or is it, just too much for regular trails?
Right. And the moment you look at the specs, you see why that question comes up. I mean, the motocross claim, it's backed by some serious numbers.
Right.
But those numbers instantly raise flags, don't they? We're talking 6,000 watts. That pushes it way beyond standard e-bike classifications for, well, most parks. Let's be honest, the performance sounds extreme. But that comes with a huge question mark. Where can you legally or even safely ride this thing?
Okay, let's unpack that power. You mentioned the specs. It's got the CYC X1 Pro Gen 4 motor. Rapid Guides, the sorts we look at, they call the torque insane. So what are we actually talking about here? 6,000 watts peak output and 280 Newton meters of torque. That sounds massive.
Oh, it is. I mean, to put that 280 meters perspective for you, that's nearly 4 times the torque you'd get from, say, a high-end Bosch or Shimano trail motor.
Yeah.
So this isn't just helping you pedal. It's like pure instant acceleration. Think a motorcycle kick. And it's powered by a pretty potent 65-volt, 300-watt Samsung battery. All that translates to a reported top speed of 37 miles per hour. And they say about 37 miles of range, maybe, under typical riding.
Right, 37 miles per hour off-road. Wow. So you could basically just point it up a super steep incline, something you'd normally have to hike a bike, and it just climbs over stuff.
Pretty much. That's the idea. Obstacles become, well, less obstructive. But as the review pointed out, there are always trade-offs with this kind of power.
Ah, okay. So did they mention any, weak spots? An Achilles heel for this beast?
They did touch on heat management, it seems. After really pushing it on long, hard climbs, keeping an eye on the battery temperature becomes pretty important. That's sort of the inevitable tension, isn't it? When you unleash that much power, heat builds up.
Makes sense. 6,000 watts. Honestly, that power is almost terrifying. Which brings us straight to control. I mean, how on earth do you manage that? How do you stop and stabilize a two-wheeled missile like this?
Exactly. The control system has to be just as beefy as the motor. And it looks like they've invested there. They went with some serious downhill-grade suspension components. Up front, you've got a Sunny RX38 RC+. It's a dual crown fork, really robust. That gives you a massive 200 millimeters of travel. And the dual crown is key. It stops the fork twisting under all that force.
200 mil. Okay, that's proper downhill territory.
Right. And the roof shock is similar, a Sunner Trier 3CR.
Yeah.
Also built to handle big hits, keep things stable.
Okay, so the suspension is heavy duty. The review also mentioned it felt incredibly responsive and agile for its size. But, I mean, with that big motor, that battery, it must be heavy, right? Does the lightweight frame they talk about really make it feel agile? Or is it still, a bit of a tank in tight technical corners?
That's a really good point. Agility is definitely relative here, relative to its power class. But the responsiveness they mentioned seems to come from a few things working together. The hydraulic disc brakes are obviously crucial for stopping power. And things like the cockpit setup, adjustable stem, ergonomic grips, they help you manage the weight and keep the handling feeling, well, natural, which you absolutely need when you're descending at speed on something this powerful.
Right, gotcha. So pulling this all together, who is this bike actually for? Who should be looking at the Bonnell 775MX?
Well, it's pretty clear, isn't it? This isn't for your average weekend trail rider. It's squarely aimed at the extreme off-road enthusiast, the adrenaline junkie, maybe someone whose local trails are basically just super steep climbs and descents, someone who wants that chairlift experience without the actual lift pass. It really does seem to fuse that raw motocross acceleration with genuine, albeit heavy-duty trail capability.
Okay, so it successfully pushes that boundary between high-performance trail riding and, well, full-on motocross. And here's something for you, the listener, to really chew on. Given that extreme power, 6,000 watts, remember, and that 36 mile per hour top speed, what does the rise of bikes like the Bonnell 775MX actually mean for the future? For how we regulate public trails, off-road parks? Could we see, separate trails, speed limits? What kind of infrastructure changes might this level of power force us to consider?
That's the million-dollar question for trail managers everywhere, I think. A really critical point. Well, thanks for digging into these pretty potent sources with us today.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. And thank you for joining us and sharing your sources. Until next time, keep digging.